forgot like 3 months ago.
All right, so yeah, all we have left to do is review for the final, and that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's that? So most people did okay on the equation on the line. Some did not. There it goes. Now, facts being the way they are, I don't think we could be able to do all 20 of these problems in the next hour. We could try, but what I'd prefer is that if you have a particular topic that you want to go over in terms of review, that we would go over those that you want to do. Although most people aren't really able to do that, but I would hope that you could.
Like over 10.
Sure. So for number 10, we have this thing. G of x is equal to the absolute value of x minus 3. So what we're doing here is we're doing a transformation of a function, or shifting a function. So Jeffrey, can you tell me what function we're going to shift? If this is g of x, what would be f of x? What would be the original function?
Pass.
Okay. Kendra, can you tell me what this would be before I shift it? Okay. This would be absolute value of x. And what does the absolute value of x look like?
Plus or minus.
It's a v.
That's right.
So then, if we're going to shift this,
3 to the right, 4 up.
it is 3 to the right and 4 up. So 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 up, right there.
Really?
Okay.
Turn that sound off. Wow. Well, you're up. You don't need the sound on anymore. Hey.
All right. What else?
So number 3, I figured out how to like set the whole dang thing up, but like the very, very end, I forgot
Okay, so
like how to set up the answer.
Sure. So we have 2x squared minus 7x minus 4 divided by x minus 2. So then this is 2x times that is 2x squared minus 4x. Change the sign now. So this is negative 3x minus 4, so this is negative 3. So this is negative 3x plus 6. These cancel, this becomes a negative 6, so then that's negative 10.
Okay.
So the right way to write the answer generally is
Negative sign.
negative 10 over x minus 2.
Okay. Yeah. No, I had a negative. I didn't do the negative sign right for the second part, so it came out.
Oh,
Like I had all the right numbers, and I'm like, I know there's a positive, and I did it twice, and I'm like, I got the same answer. No.
oh well, that's a problem.
Okay.
I
That I knew. Anything else?
Number 17. We have 3 plus I over 2 plus I. We can simplify that using the idea that I is the square root of -1. Kendra, can you tell me what I need to do for that?
The conjugate, or
Okay.
multiply by the conjugate, sorry.
Yes. And so that would be multiplying top and bottom by 2 minus I. When I multiply here, I get 6 minus 3I plus 2I minus I squared. And down here, I get 4 plus 2I minus 2I minus I squared. So then when I take I squared becomes -1, but when I take the -1, it becomes positive. So each of these becomes +1. So this is 7 minus I on top. And then this is 5 on the bottom. And then we normally write that as 7 over 5 minus 1 over 5.
Is that structure for the answer what you prefer?
Yes.
Half a point wrong if you don't separate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even a full.
No, I'm just kidding.
I need to know.
He needs to know.
I need that half point.
You need that half point?
Well,
No, that points that up.
I think a full point probably.
Come on, Angela.
This is really a lot better. Probably a full.
Why, like, why is it better?
Because if you're going to do anything with this, like add it or subtract it or multiply it by something else, you couldn't really use this form.
Okay.
Because the other one would be broken down.
This would be broken up.
Right.
Real imaginary.
Okay.
Can we do number 15,
Sure.
please, Cindy?
So here we have 10 over cube root of 4x. We want to rationalize the denominator and simplify it if it needs to be simplified. This is cube root. So if we multiply by the square root, that won't help us.
Do you multiply 4x cubed times the whole thing?
I do not.
You want to get 3 of them, so you only
Yeah,
have to
you need-
multiply it by 2 cube
Oh.
roots of 4x.
Yep.
No.
4x squared, 4x squared.
No.
Don't ask me because
All
if
right.
if
I'm going to
if
factor
got
this.
wrong, then I'm-
What happens when I factor this? I get a 2, I get another 2, and I get an x. Those are all inside the cube root. I want 3 things out of the cube root.
You want another 2,
I want another 2,
and you want
2 more x.
2 more x's.
2 more x's. So I want to multiply by what?
The cube root of 2x squared.
The cube root of 2x squared. What do I get on the bottom when I do that application? Cube root.
You get 4x.
No.
No?
You get 2x.
So you get 2x. This is 2 times 2 times 2, which would be, there are 3 of them, so then that cancels out 2. X, 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 that cancels out x. So I have 2x on the bottom. What do I have on the top?
10,
No, the cube root of, no, yeah, you're right.
well, thanks, Tori, for finishing it. Because I wasn't gonna finish that correctly.
Then what happens?
Divide by 2.
And what do we get?
Help me out.
5 times the cube root of 2x squared over x.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
What? 14? Since no one else is gonna say
Let's do number 2. Most students want to distribute that second power on the outside. That's the wrong way to do it. What we want to do is simplify what's inside the parentheses first.
We'll put all the negative numbers on before, so that all of them, but the Z on the bottom, right, first?
Okay, the Z part here, Z to the -2 will go down to the bottom.
And then Y.
What will it be on the bottom? If I have Z to the -2 on top, what do I put on the bottom?
Z
Z squared.
Z squared. Okay, so that part's done.
On top you have Y.
Okay, this Y to the -1 will go on top.
Yep, and that'd be 3 minus -1, so it'd be 4y, or y4. Y to the
So Y to the 4th power. Either you can just take this up to the top and say, well, it's 3 plus 1, which is 4.
Mhm.
Or you can say 3 minus -1 is 3 plus 1, which is 4. So either way, I'm done with the Z's, I'm done with the Y's. What else?
You have an X on the bottom,
I would have an X on the bottom,
and you have a -7 on top,
I would have a -7 on top.
and then you square everything.
Okay? So what do we get?
-49Y to 6 all the way up.
Unfortunately, you're not correct.
Foil it,
Yeah, -49y.
Okay, we FOIL if we have a binomial thing,
Okay,
which is adding, which we don't have.
So that'd be
It
-49,
is not -40,
not negative.
It's 49,
it's 49. -7 times -7 is 49.
so 49Y to the 6.
It's not Y to the 6.
Y to the
Y to
8.
It's
16.
Y to the 8.
Or the 8.
Oh.
We do not add the exponents here, we do not share the exponents, we multiply 4 times 2.
And then be on the bottom, it'd be 2 to the second, or x to the square, times z to the 4th.
Okay.
We hand this to that.
Let's do another one of those.
What?
Yes.
All right, I got it right.
Rather simple answer.
It's a relatively simple answer. No. All right, Angela, you got something you like?
I don't know if I like it, but I got something.
Okay. What do you got?
My final answer?
Yeah.
Can I phone a friend?
Phone a friend.
Sure. Yeah.
B to the fourth over A to the fourth?
Yep.
Are we gonna work through that?
Yeah.
I mean,
So the first thing we could do here would be to simplify what's inside the parentheses. So what happens when we do that?
you take the A negative 4 and move it to the top,
Okay.
which becomes A positive 4.
All right.
I had to break it down step by step, so then I moved A negative 2 down, and then I canceled them from each other.
Okay, that's all
So
right.
then A squared goes to the top.
Okay.
And then I pulled B negative 1 down, which made it B squared.
Okay, so that B is times B here, which is B squared down here. Okay.
And
And
then,
this is to the negative 2 power.
and then when you do that, then you end up with A negative 4 over B negative 4. So then you have to flip them to get positive exponents. So then you have B4 over A4.
Oh, but it's a negative 2 though.
Yep.
It's
So
a negative 2,
-2
so it
times
makes
2.
this A to the negative 4 on top, B to the negative 4 on the bottom, so then they have to switch places. A to the 4th goes down, B to the 4th goes up. Now, it is possible to do this problem by distributing the -2, since we have so many negative exponents, and it all be positive, but it doesn't matter.
Which way would you have done it?
I would have done it the way you did.
So being that there was so many negative exponents, don't you feel like you almost could have saved the step by just distributing this one since?
Well, yeah, you possibly could have. You would have A to the 4th, B to the 2nd, over B to the -2, A to the 8th.
But you don't want to do that because the problem's on the right, because then you have like huge numbers.
Yeah, because you have to be careful about doing that. You have to make sure you're only doing it in a place where it helps. In this case, it would not be a bad idea, but you would still have some work to do because then you have to cancel out the A's to the 4th,
Yeah, 'cause now
bring this up to B to the 4th,
Yeah.
which isn't too bad, really. So
But then-
either way is okay. I probably would have done it the way that you did it, just to make sure that I didn't get myself
That
into
makes
trouble.
sense.
But it's a little bit easier if you do it the other way. And this is where, generally speaking, most teachers say, always follow this procedure. But they're wrong. It should be, follow this procedure when it makes sense.
Hmm.
And in this case, you should not say, always simplify what's in the parentheses first, because it's easier if you don't. So you shouldn't say, always do it this way all the time. Usually, you should not say always.
How'd you get negative 4B squared and
We distributed that -2 to the power of -2.
Yeah, this is a different way to solve the problem by taking the -2 and distributing it to all the exponents. Okay. So what else we got? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do number 16. Let's do one like number 16.
Okay.
Square root of 2x minus 1 is equal to 3x minus 2 for sure. Why not?
we're doing solving.
Yes.
Working in a circle.
I think that's another extra there. Cause you squared it. I think, yeah, I think the 2x minus 1 plus squared. But then I got 9x squared minus 12x plus 12. Because it's a 3x minus 2. The formula we have y equals 12, right?
Yeah, it's equal to each other. So that one.
I did, but I think yours is wrong. Not to me.
I don't know, I think you did wrong too.
No, this part, I don't know about that.
All right, Powers, show us.
All right. So we'll have Jeffrey show
I'm
us.
so close.
Jeffrey's doing well.
We'll let Jeffrey
Yeah,
finish.
so
and then-
close.
All right, Jeffrey, what do we start by?
So, for this one, I squared both sides.
Okay.
So it's 5x minus 1 equals,
No, it's
What?
2x.
What?
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2x minus 1 equals 3x minus 2 squared. But that's, if I set it up as 3x minus 2 times 3x minus 2, right?
Oh, yeah. Those are two terms.
Yep, and then I foiled that. So it would
Okay,
have
what do you get?
been 9x squared minus 12x plus 4.
We
Then,
could have used the formula for this. Square the first one, square the last one, and then 2 times the product of the between.
oh, yeah.
All right?
So then I did, I split that. The right side, I split the 12 with -5 and -9.
No. You did not do 12 to be 5 and 9.
Oh, I know what it,
Bring everything
So-
over here, so you bring
6 and 6,
14.
6 and 6.
yeah, I gotta move the stuff from the left to the right. Then I did that. Then I split the 14
Oh, I
with
got,
9 and 5.
I got
-9 and
20,
-5.
that's why I
14.
messed up, I
Yeah.
got 24x
9
instead
and
of
5.
14.
Yeah.
But
That's
specifically,
I messed up.
It then would have been, and that's where I was at, yeah, 9x squared minus 9x times 5x.
9x squared minus 9x. We're splitting this up.
Yep,
So it's a minus 9x. What's the next thing?
and then it's 5x, or
Yeah.
-5x.
It's minus 5x. Okay. Now,
Now
what do I
we
need
can
to
split
do?
it up, right? Factor out
Okay, so what do we get?
9x times x minus 1 and -5 times x minus 1.
That's correct.
So then you get 9x minus 5 equals 0 and x minus 1 equals 0.
Okay. So then what?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dramatic.
1, 9x equals 5, so x equals 5 ninths,
X equals 5 over 9, that's right here.
or x equals 1.
X equals 1 is over here.
Then we put that back in, to make sure.
Then we put them back in, make sure they work.
Make sure it works.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we do.
So 1 works.
1 works.
I think 5 over 9 works.
What happens when we put in 5 over 9?
Oh, we get 0.
No, we don't.
Well, 2 times 5 ninths minus 1 equals 1 ninth.
Okay, so we have the square root of 1 ninth on one side. So what would we have on the other side?
Dude. Did you just say that?
Negative 1/3.
That's
Negative
horrible.
1/3.
That doesn't-
So that doesn't work.
That is not.
Dun,
So
dun,
the answer
dun.
is.
Are you sure it
So the
doesn't
answer
work?
is just. All right. That was still fun. Okay, so let's do another one.
I got bills. Oh, what she said. What are we supposed to do here?
Solve.
You shouldn't have told me yet.
You asked the question. I'm sorry. I thought if you were asking a question, I
It
could
was
answer
very nice of
it.
you to say that. Sorry. Well, I was talking to Tori.
Yes, I know, but I just wanted to interrupt.
You should
I just
be.
felt so left out, you know? Everybody's asking other people questions. Why don't they ask me?
You should be in America's Got Talent. You're pretty funny.
Oh,
What's with the O?
I've never seen America's Got Talent,
Really?
so I
You
don't know
haven't?
what it is like.
It's the most number one greatest show in America. How can you not?
I don't watch television.
Have you heard of
I
Simon
saw
Cowell?
Stranger Things, though.
I love that. Have you seen season 3?
Yeah.
Don't tell me
I'm not gonna tell you anything,
I'm only on season 2.
except that Hopper has a wonderful shirt. That's the biggest deal.
Is it? Well, you're probably working all the time, right? I haven't watched TV.
All right, Jeffrey, what do you got?
I didn't get that far, but
No.
I know we got a complete square for that.
We could. I would not recommend that.
Oh, what's the other one?
Yeah, the one with the space, I don't remember that.
The space.
No, it's not. There's no space involved.
Yeah, the space is completing square. The other one is the.
You say, I think
Angela, what'd you do?
Dang it.
dang it. You're just like,
Pass.
Oh.
I know.
It's the other one.
it's prime.
No.
No.
It is prime, but that means
But
we have to
there's
use
a
the
formula.
quadratic
Oh, there you
formula.
go.
I don't
Okay,
remember.
what's the line, is it,
We need the song, don't we?
oh, you taught everybody
Yeah.
a song?
He's
I
like,
was
no.
totally-
Yep.
X is
Totally
equal
toned
to
it down.
negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
That's the thing we need to
Yeah.
do.
Is that what you were talking about trying to, or trying to?
That's what I had in my head.
Except for he told
In the
Doug
head, but it wasn't in.
negative b
Paper.
plus minus b squared minus 4ac. I'm not as good a singer as Mr. Power, so.
That's right.
But if he has
As long
power.
as you remember it, I
You
don't care how well you sing. I don't care how well you remember. There we go, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Should that be 20? I chose the school of 20, but I was sure you break down the 20. Oh, it's 45. But 4 is squares. So it'd be 2 5s or 2. We still have to go. I don't think so. You talk to yourself like I do. Or are you talking to your friends? I always go, Dad, are you talking to yourself? He goes, no, he's talking to his friends. I don't see his friends. He said, you need to get your friends. But, no,
All right. Yeah, so.
I have a question.
What's your question?
So I think it's -3 plus or minus 2 the square root of 7 over 6. But
No.
I think you can simplify it
What?
more.
No, your answer's not correct. So Angela, let's go through putting in the numbers. What did you put in here?
So I ended up doing -3.
It's not -3. This is A.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
it.
B. And this is
Oh, that's true.
C. So, yeah.
Yeah, that changes a few
It
things.
does. Just change a lot. Yep.
Well, so -2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 2
This way.
over 2 times 3.
One of this way.
So then you get negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus 24.
No, it's not plus. Minus.
That, Mr. Powers, that always, stumps me, like the minus sign. And like, if one of the
Yeah,
foreign
numbers is
is
negative.
with the negative, that's a plus, but still, that kind of confuses me.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm with Angela. I'm
All right, okay, so what happens next?
negative
So then you end up getting negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 20 over 6. Which I split into negative 4 times 5. So then you end up with negative 2 plus or minus 2i square root of 5 over 6.
Hey,
And then you can take 2 out of the top and bottom. I mean, you can take 2 out of it because it's 2,
Yes, you
2,
take
and
out
6.
2, so we're gonna take out 2.
So x equals, you'd still get negative 1 there, wouldn't you?
I would have a negative 1, yes.
Negative 1 plus or minus I square root of 5 over 3.
oh, you're right.
Yes,
So if I put the numbers in there correctly.
yeah,
And
that's important to do that at the beginning. Once you do that, then that's correct. Now, we could write this then as negative 1 plus I times the square root of 5, comma, negative 1 minus I. We could possibly write it as negative 1/3
Yeah.
plus or minus square root of 5 over 3i.
Which
Or we could write it as negative 1/3 plus square root of 5 over 3i, comma, negative 1/3 minus square root of I. I will take any of these options as correct.
Just don't forget the other.
You mean like the plus and minus signs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I forget. You're like,
All right.
dang it, I get, I have the answer wrong. Right? I have one wrong.
Plus or minus.
All right. Okay, let's do something like. Oh, yeah, we should do that. Oh, I can make this bigger than the ones. So let's say I had this. So I want to divide it.
See, I don't wanna work it out and like think I know I'm doing it right, and then I don't, because I want it to be ranked right.
So Angela, can you tell me what the common denominator is?
2x plus 3 10 or x squared minus 9.
Can't you just take the square root of the left side?
So I
2x
broke down
plus
the
3,
left
2x minus
denominator to 2x minus 3 and 2x plus 3.
Yeah. The common denominator is 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. So that's how you factor what's on the bottom because it's the difference of square.
How did you, I'm sorry to ask, but I don't remember how you do that.
Okay, if I have two things that are squared, like 25x squared minus 16. These are square numbers. These are also square numbers. And there are two of them, and there's a subtraction between them. So when we factor this, it's 5x plus 4 times 5x minus 4. If I FOIL this out, 25x squared plus 20x minus 20x, and then minus 16.
Okay, but how did you get that from that side?
From right here, I want to factor this. These are all square numbers. And there's a subtraction between them. So to factor something which has two terms that's the difference of squares, then I look at this, which would be 2x over here, 2x over here. This is 3 times 3, and then one of them is plus and one of them is minus. So if I
You already
multiply
have the
these
2x plus 3 on the right side, right?
I already have this over
So
here.
that's why you stick with just the whole.
So then I'm going to multiply by this on the top and bottom of this fraction.
Okay. Maybe not.
Oh, yay.
All right.
So it would be 5 over 2x minus 3.
It is.
Yay!
So yeah, when we multiply by 2x minus 3 on the top and bottom,
I like those problems.
then we have 14x plus 9 minus 4x plus 6. So this is 10x plus 15 over this 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3.
But you
Factor
can,
out of 5.
Yep.
So that's 2x plus 3, and then those 2x plus 3's cancel.
Isn't it minus 6?
It is not, because this is a negative 3 and this is a negative 2.
What number is this on the test? Because I'm not.
This was on the practice test. This was number 8. In fact, I used the same denominator. I just love that denominator. So, you know,
What denominator?
4x squared minus 9.
How come you didn't use that at all? Just move on, I'll figure it out later.
Whatever.
All right.
This is kind of fun.
Sure.
So out of curiosity, just because now I'm a little, so on the last problem, when I took -4 times 3 times 2.
Okay. All right. So let's do 1,
Another.
2.
Sorry, yeah.
Is it, yeah, good. Just 2?
Can I go back to the last one for a second?
Sure.
So 5 times 2x plus 3 over 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 3.
Yes.
2x. Right.
2x plus 3 is canceled.
Okay.
And up to 5 over 2.
Excuse you. Yeah.
Like clutch. That was clutch.
Yeah, but isn't that x equals 2? I don't know why I don't understand. I don't know.
So we're doing the same thing we did the last one?
No, because the one we did right here,
Uh-huh.
we're not able to eliminate the denominator. We just have to combine the things together. The denominator still stays there. But over here, we want to eliminate the denominator.
Well,
So, Jeffrey, can you tell me what the common denominator is for this?
It's just 2, or I'm just, yeah, 2 minus 1?
No.
No.
2x minus 1?
No. If I have 1 over 3 plus 1 over 5, what's the common denominator?
15.
Why?
because you have a common factor or whatever.
So it's the x times 2x
There's no
minus
common
1.
factors between these two.
So it's
So if
x,
there's no common factor, you just multiply the denominator.
it's x parentheses 2x minus 1.
It is. That's my common denominator. So what am I going to do with that common denominator?
Multiply all.
I'm going to multiply each of these things times that common denominator.
And then they cancel out the ones.
You're gonna cancel stuff out. So what happens when I take this common denominator and multiply it by this?
You just get X.
It's gonna get X. What happens when I take this and multiply it by that?
And then plus 2x minus 1.
2x minus 1. And then here I have this times that, so it's 2x.
I only taken the parts that aren't there.
When I multiply by this, it cancels it out, so then the only thing that's left is what's not there.
Is what's on top.
That goes on top.
So like, for example, if it was 2 over 2x minus 1,
Then I would have multiplied by 2. This would have been 2x.
Yeah.
Okay.
because once the bottom denominator cancels, then you're left, you take the other part of the denominator and it multiplies to the top.
Yeah, and since it's 1 on the top, then I get what I have. Okay, so what do I do with this?
Distribute 2x.
Okay, so this is 4x squared minus 2x over here. This is 3x minus 1 over here.
Well,
You would need to bring everything to one side, yeah.
4x squared minus 5x plus 1 over here.
Would you use the quadratic formula?
We could.
Or you could do instead of a binomial.
Yes.
oh, 4 times 1 is 4, and nothing multiplies to 1 and adds to -5. And then
So this
We
would be
have to
4x minus 1 times x minus 1. Because 4 and 1 add together to give me 5, but they both need to be negative. So this would be 4x squared minus 4x minus x plus 1. Or if we use quadratic formula, we'd eventually get there. So what do we get for answers?
X equals 1, X equals 1/4.
And the only time you would have a problem is if we had x equals 0 here, or x equals 1/2 here, that would make that up. So both of these answers.
Alright.
What if I use unrestricted variables? And I have the square root of x to the 6th power.
X to the 3rd. Oh, no. Unrestricted.
Why is it not x to the 3rd?
Jeffrey, can you tell me why it's not x to the 3rd?
I want
Looking
to.
at it.
Angela, can you tell me why it's not x to the 3rd?
Oh,
You just said, yep, I got it.
because you're pulling 2 out of it.
No. Jeffrey, can you tell me why it's not x to the 3rd?
because if it was x to the 3rd, you have a possibility of getting a negative number.
Yes. So what do I have to do in order to prevent that from happening?
Absolute value.
Absolute value of x. Because if I put in a negative number, this would become positive, and when I take the square root, it's still positive. So it's not x to the 3rd, because if I put a negative number, x to the 3rd is actually negative. right, that's good enough for me. Hopefully that's good enough for you. I mean, we're done.
Alright, well,
So I'll see you all tomorrow and finish up. You know, I'll say hello to Sarah when I end the live stream.
Bye, Sarah. See you tomorrow.